Hey everyone, my name is Saf. You are watching Gray on Tech TV, and if you have not done yet so do hit that subscribe button because this is my fuel of motivation that you guys are learning from my lectures and you are able to understand from my Appian tutorials. Today we will be starting a totally new series called Appian Function series, where we'll be discovering the important functions and the related scenarios of them, starting with a common function called abank flatten. So abank flatten is often used when you are having a list of lists. So what are the scenarios when we encounter the list of lists? There are a lot of scenarios where you are bringing the data or partial data, or you are bringing a number logic which is giving you a list, and on the basis of that you are getting a list of lists. And if you want to eliminate the outer list and you have to flatten that into a single list, you need to use abank flatten. Let's understand this with the help of defining local variables, abank local variables, local bank test. And inside, let's define the local variables first. Inside the local variables, we will be using abank for each. So abank for each is another function, and abank local variables. Let me just help you understand these first. So this is the standard definition of a local variable. You see on the top, we are having abank local variables. On the topmost definition, you will encounter the list of local variables. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, n number of local variables, whatever you want to define. But there would be at least one expression area where the local variable values would be rendered. So this is the requirement when you are defining local variables. Local variables have a local scope. Whatever you want to do, you can do it on the inside the scope of the variables. So the values cannot be fetched outside the local variable definition. Local variable test is having the capability and the accessibility inside the braces defined on in which it is defined. That is abank local variables. Outside this, it is having no value. If you really want to explore, like put out this value, you need to take help of rule inputs if you really want to bring this value outside this local bank test. So let's define and understand how abank flatten works. So for that, let's understand how enumerate works. So enumerate 44 will actually enumerate your number, defined number, into a list which is starting from 0 till number minus 1. So once if I enumerate 44, so I'll get a list of number integer which is starting from 0 till 43. So if we explore this, we'll get an idea of 0 till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 43. So there are some scenarios where you want to implement a formula on enumerate on whatever the value that you are putting, and you have to do plus 1. So instead of 0, now it will enumerate from 1 because you have already done plus 1. It will go, the list will go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 44. So what are the scenarios in the project that you will encounter this kind of formula? So for example, user has entered a number, and on that number you have to create 5 cards. For example, you have to build an e-commerce site, right? While building an e-commerce site, you are having an expectation on a formula that you are asking enter the number of wish list that you want to create. So if you want to create 5 wish list, right? So let's suppose this is a number that the user has entered, and let's suppose number user will create 3 wish list. Wish list, I hope you understand, temporary area where the products are shortlisted. So now 1, 2, 3. To get the idea of there are 3 wish list, and on the basis of these 3 wish list, you have to do the further logic. So you can create another card layout using abank for each, which will be using the local bank test as values, and expression will be abank card layout, and What else? Contents would be abang, rich text. Table would be subscribe, crayon tech, and again we have to enter the comma. So here you can see in the output there are three card layouts, which you obviously cannot see because it is locally defined. Now you have to put it in the expression to see the output defined in the expression. Here you can see the output. Subscribe to Gray on Tech. So depending upon the number that the user will enter, for example, 30, or for example, uh, 12. So based upon the iterations that the user will enter, the number that the user will enter, we will get the iterations. Now, independently understanding enumerate is important. Independently understanding for each loop is important. And independently understanding what is card layout and how card layout can be used inside a rich text display field is also important. So understanding a function is not only important, we need to understand how to nest them to create our own logic. So coming back to the topic, A-bank flatten. So flatten is often used when you have list of lists, right? I'll remove this code and I'll comment this one as well. Instead of this items, let's put up a list. So let's define a list in local bank test and let's put up a list here. A, B, B, E, R, H, H, T. And the list items are iterating for every item in local bank test. So it will iterate 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And what we will be doing? We'll be doing an expression of enumerate FV bank item. Obviously, we don't have to. Okay, my bad. Instead of a list value, we have to put up a number value. 33. If 33 would be too much. 11, 3, 5, 2, 7. My bad. I was using a text value to enumerate because enumerate is expecting a number. So here you can see that we are having a list of numbers which is used inside a for each loop, which is getting enumerated for every item it is being picked off. So for first iteration of loop, we are iterating 11 times from 0 till 10, right? So what you can do, you can again put up a logic as enumerate FP bank item plus 1. So the enumeration will start from 1 now. So that's what I mean to say, that you can use enumerate. And now let's understand what is flatten. So flatten is used to eliminate the outer list of lists. If you are having list of lists, so you can you know convert it into a single list by using flatten. So that flatten function will actually flatten or flat the list that you will have into a single list. So whatever your output is, you can, whatever your logic is, you can flatten it by actually wrapping it around the flatten, and you will get the whole items in the single list. So I hope you understand the difference between the previous output and the current output. Here the output is directly coming in a single list. Let me reiterate and show it to you again. In my previous scenario, we were having a list which is containing multiple lists, right? It is a list of variant inside of which we are having list of number integer. But what we did a bank flatten to eliminate the outer list. So there are a lot of logical scenarios in our project where we will understand the importance of flatten, get the output in the single list. When you're querying the specific values from the columns in the DB, or when you are querying anything from the API, sometimes where there are scenarios where you are getting a list of lists, want to quickly grab it and make it to a single list. That is the essence of flatten. Today we understood what is the use of local variables and the scope of local variables. We understood how to iterate an interface function using for each loop, what are list items, what are number integer lists, and how to use flatten. Drop a like if you really like my explanation, and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I regularly bring on these kind of videos, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Till then.